in this module, a key part of the work that I want you to do is to actually research and map out where is your scope, where are the universities, where are the students. You may already know. But what I'd like you to do is to actually create a map that would give a visual picture of how many universities and how large those universities are. Because it's as you begin to see the breadth of your scope that you begin to see the task that's before us. And as catalytic staff, your role, part of your call, it's about working in 10 to 20 universities. And that takes a very different way of working and thinking than just focusing on one university. And we may even be tempted to think, how's that even possible? But the exciting thing is, as we're even studying and learning, when God set aside Paul and Barnabas for the nations, they then went and reached 8 different cities and went back and set up leaders in each of those cities, and they never became essential to the work in any of those cities. They equipped leaders, they planted the work, they equipped leaders, but then they left, and the work continued without them. And so this is a critical step, is defining your scope. Who is everywhere and where is everywhere? And as you begin to do that, you can feel overwhelmed. You can feel that this is just impossible, and it is. It's a lot like Jesus feeding the 5,000 when he looked at the disciples and he said, you give them something to eat. And they looked at their resources and they knew they didn't have the resources to feed the 5,000. But what Jesus knew was that he could take the little bit that they had and he could multiply that to feed the 5,000. In a similar way, as you begin to look at how many universities and where they are, Jesus, I believe, is going to enable you to do, through resources that he will provide, what you could never do on your own. And the resources for movements in all these schools are actually in the schools. The resources for the harvest are in the harvest. And so, as you define your scope, this is the next step towards actually stepping out and discovering where God is working and beginning to see movements and spiritual fires burning in many of those different campuses.